Are you looking to purchase a home in Rathdrum, Idaho, and want to know some of the pros and cons of living there? In this video, I will go over a few of those. A question that we get asked often and can be a con is Northern Idaho affordable to live? And the short answer is no, it is not affordable to live, but it hasn't been affordable since 2018. A lot of that has to do with the cost of living tends to be higher, especially for housing and rent in this area. And that has gone up dramatically in the last 2 years. One of the cons of living in Rathdrum is it does have one of the higher cost per living in the North Idaho cities that I've been talking about. Again, Idaho is 97.7, and for Rathdrum, the cost of living is 106.1. A pro for purchasing in Rathdrum is Rathdrum still has a fair amount of larger parcels that are close and near to town in case you need to go in for grocery shopping and don't want to be too far out in the rural area. So if you're looking for some acreage, it might be good to focus in the Rathdrum area or towards the Hayden area also. Rathdrum has a median household income of just over $64,000 a year. The average, let's say single family under 2 acres in Rathdrum is going for $511,000. One of the cons in purchasing in Rathdrum is that there is a railroad track. It is a large railroad track and runs pretty close to the downtown area of Rathdrum. So if you do not want to be near the railroad track, then make sure when you're looking that you are not purchasing near those. There's also one that runs on the prairie. Now, even in Hayden, I can hear the railroad tracks. So again, just be aware of where you're looking in conjunction where those are. A pro of living in Rathdrum is you are close to recreational. There is Twin Lakes that you can go boating on and golfing. They do have a golf course. There's Rathdrum Mountain where they just put in a disc golf and also a story walk trail. I was actually part of the Story Walk Trail, so that is near and dear to my heart, and it is just a great way to get out there and be with nature. A pro that's coming up for Rathdrum is it used to only be a 2-way highway, Highway 41, from Post Falls north. There's also a spur road off of Highway 54 that takes you into Spokane. However, that road is being developed, so that is going to be so much nicer for people traveling from Rathdrum down to Post Falls or hitting the I-90 corridor. So that will help with people needing to head to work instead of having just that small 2-lane highway. One of the pros of purchasing a home in Rathdrum or living in Rathdrum is they have the school district. It's Lakeland School District, and it is a very good school district. I will put some links below that you can check out the schools, the elementary, the middle, and the high schools that are in that school district and how they rate compared to other school districts in Idaho. One of the pros of living in Rathdrum is if you are looking for one of the cities with the smaller population, that is going to be Rathdrum, with just over 10,000 people at this time. Now, I do see Rathdrum growing, and it will probably grow fairly quickly just because it does still have a lot of land around it that can be developed and is being developed. A con can be here recently, and I say probably within the last 5 or 6 years because I don't remember it happening when we grow up, but in either August or September when the wildfires are going, we tend to get unhealthy air. It just depends on how long it stays. This year, 2022, we had it for probably about 5 or 6 days. But I remember a couple years ago when it was out for almost 3 or 4 weeks of unhealthy air to where kids couldn't go outside at school or be out there. So we do have those. It just depends on the year, how bad it is, and the wildfires that are around us. This next one's a personal preference. I call it a pro, my husband calls it a con. So it all depends on what you prefer, but we do get snow. And depending on the year, we can get a fair amount of snow. Depending on others, we can not get a lot. It just really depends. I love a white Christmas, and I do remember a couple years ago that we were pushing up to Christmas and not any snow. But then we've also had February where we've gotten more snow than the state of Alaska. So right now the weather is just a little funky on what we get. I remember growing up in this area where there would be snow berms that were as tall as I was. We haven't seen that in a while, but that's not to say that it won't come back.